welcome to Late Night with Larry. I'm here with my co-host Vince. Vince, give me a shout out.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Glad to be here. Glad you could be here.
That's right. And tonight we're going to take it a little on, we always talk about Sasquatch, but we're going to take it a little to the left, and we're going to talk about UFOs tonight. And tonight we got a special guest. His name's Jimmy, and he's going to tell us about his UFO sighting. Just so you know, Jimmy's my son, and he really didn't believe in UFOs. He didn't believe in Sasquatch. He thought that it was all a little bit of hokey pokey. But one summer night, they were driving back from El Paso back to Dallas, where they live, and he had a personal sighting himself. Him and his brother, his girlfriends, and all that were involved in the car, and. We're gonna bring him on. Hey, Jimmy, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Hey, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So, why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about what you saw that night on your drive back from El Paso to Dallas?
Okay, so, let me start off by, I was never a believer. UFOs, Bigfoot, heard of them as I grew up. Yeah, whatever.
Right.
So, went down to El Paso for a party. Had the little party get together. It was probably 12:30. We all decided, hey, we got to work Monday. Let's just drive back. There's enough of us. We can, if one gets tired, we'll rotate.
Right.
So decided, okay, let's leave. So we start leaving El Paso. We get, through the checkpoint, keep going. Now we're about hitting the Odessa, halfway to Midland, and in between those towns it's super dark, so you're able to see the stars. The sky is just pitch black. So it just happened that off to the right, as we were going, I noticed something high in the sky. Not too high, but almost where it was high enough to where it was in the clouds. And you can see as you're going, it's kind of moved and then it vanished. Whew. And I was like, that's kind of weird. Maybe it was like a shooting star. Let it go off. Well, we kept driving. As we kept driving, it reappeared. Because I'm still looking like, look through, and boom, it reappeared. So I get my camera, and I try to zoom in as much as I can. And as I'm zooming in, you can just tell it's not normal. Because, I've seen stars, I've seen, shooting stars. This thing was moving, rotating, and staying with us. So we're traveling probably 85, 80, and it's a little ahead, and you can just see it coming up and down and rotating. And I'm on the camera, mind you. I have the video, still trying to get it, and I just can't believe it. I'm shocked. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. This is no, there's no way. And it's rotating as if it's, using some centrifugal force to keep it there. But it also looked as if it was a diamond shape. But when we would get closer into some of the cities, the lights would come on and you can see it a little bit better. And it almost like a platinum look. Like it was just like a cloak around it. It was something that I could never describe. I've never seen it before. So we keep going, and I'm telling, my wife, my brother, his wife, we're all driving, we're looking at it, we're like, there's no way. We're driving, we're like, yes. And as we're coming through a town, it just disappeared, but reappeared at the same time. We're like, whoa, that is super. But it wasn't so high to where it was a star, and it wasn't high enough to where it was an airplane, if that makes sense. It was kind of, floating kind of low. And it was something that I will never forget. And like I said, I've never been a believer until this day. Once I seen that, I knew that can't be from here. The
Right.
way that it rotated, the way that it moved, the way that it came back, reappeared, and even then, mind you, this is hours we're following it. Sometimes we come back, and we followed it into the day. And even in the day, you can see this stream, almost like a stream, as if it's coming off, almost like as if it was a jet when it goes through the cloud,
Right.
and then it would stop, and then you can see it just rotate. It was something, like I said, I couldn't even explain. I've never seen anything like that. And the shape that it was in, the way that it was rotating, it was just bizarre. Stars don't do that.
Right.
And I don't think we have drones that can do that.
No, I agree with you. And I know that you guys called or your brother did. Chris called Vince and woke him up.
I was going to work when he called me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we're mid drive, so Chris automatically like, hey, we have to. Our first thought was to call you. We tried to call you. You didn't answer, so we're like, oh, let's Vent. What time is it? He's got to be up. Like,
Right.
he's got to be going to work. So he messaged him on Facebook, and he said, I'm up. Call me. And we're calling him, and as we call him, we're trying to describe him, everything that we're telling him,
Right.
or everything that we see, we're telling him. The way it looks, the way it's moving, like we've never seen any. And what was so weird is the height that it was. It wasn't so high to where it was, like I said, super, super, super high, like where a plane you can see in the sky, but it wasn't so low to where it was kind of noticeable.
Right.
It's right in between. It was just the most bizarre thing.
Now at night, this didn't have lights like an airplane, right?
No, it did not. Normally, airplanes would have like the red,
Right, the blinking lights or whatever. Yeah,
the blinking lights. Yeah,
those are
this
called
thing wasn't
beacons.
blinking.
yeah. Now, I remember you guys sent me a video. It's cell phone video, so it's not perfect, but I just saw this silver object and it was just lit up. I mean,
That's what I said. It was almost as if it was like a cloak, and the silver platinum look was coming off the moon to the clouds, kind of. It was almost like a cloak. Like
Right.
it was, you could see it spinning, but because it was going through the clouds and the moonlight was still, I believe it was almost a full moon that night.
Right. And now
And so it was real bright.
you guys saw this about what time, and you kept a visual on it till daybreak. So,
Yeah, like, so we probably about 2:40, almost 3:30.
so about 5
Maybe.
hours.
Yeah, like I
Five.
said, it almost to the peak. The sun was coming up, so it's probably 6 o'clock, and then it just vanished. The sun came up and it just vanished.
Just vanished.
wow.
Now that's crazy. Now I know, like, you personally didn't believe in Sasquatch or UFOs, anything, but once you witness this, has it changed your outlook on what may be out there in space? And
Definitely, it makes me wonder now, like, because I've seen, and that's the most bizarre thing is, before when I was younger, growing up, I've seen videos that either you or Chris or even friends have showed me that, like, oh, look, they're true, and they look similar to what we've seen that night.
right.
So that's what makes me now like, okay, there has to be something, because
Right.
more than one people have seen it, and then seen it. I was more of a, I have to see it to believe it,
Right.
and I've seen it, so now I believe it.
Right. Now, like you said, this craft, as you guys watched it for roughly 5 hours, it wasn't like a plane or a jet, because, I mean, a jet or a plane would have had the beacons blinking. Plus, you would also saw the fuelage, the trail of the fuel coming out, or you know.
And the only time you would see the trail of something like that is when it hit the cloud. Like,
Right.
boom, it would go through the cloud, and then you'd see a little bit. But once it was not in a cloudy area, there was nothing. You wouldn't see the backdraft.
Right. And
So,
and I did. I
and a
did.
jet,
Go ahead.
I don't think a jet could stay hovered for that long.
No, that's what I was about to bring that up, because I said the video guys you showed me, it wasn't a typical conventional aircraft, as let's say a commercial jet, a private jet, or even a plane, because of the way it was sitting there hovering. And in the videos you guys sent me, it was kind of pulsating as UFOs do in videos.
Yeah.
It just like pulp go down.
Exactly. It was like I said, it was almost in a centrifugal, like where it's spinning.
Right.
It was coming up, down, but staying in that area where it's at, but moving along.
Right. Now,
It was so bizarre.
I want to know more about, you said like a cloak. Now, do you think it was like cloaked, but you said something about the moon? Maybe what you were seeing was the reflection of the moon on this, and that's the only thing you were seeing?
That's what I was thinking, because when we're going, the moon is kind of over to, above us, and then we can see it in front of us. So
Right.
as we see the moon, and then we see, the cloud, and then that's when I noticed it, and I'm like, what is it? And as I zoom in, you can see this cloak. As I say, it's like a outside, and that's why I say it's almost like a reflection. When you see a reflection in the water, you see the outline of you.
Yeah.
Right.
It's almost like that, but it was just like a platinum, like a silver look, but you can see it.
Now,
It's rotating.
yeah.
So that's what got me. When it was rotating, when I zoomed in, you can see it's almost like a diamond shape. And if it was an aircraft, on the wings, they have the lights on the wings, and you'd be able to see, it'd be just longer.
Right.
It'd be a lot longer than what it was.
Well, I mean, you've grown up all your life. You could look up in the sky and it's a plane. So for you to look at this thing and say, well, that doesn't look like anything that we fly in the skies. And you're saying it's a diamond shape. So the other thing is the drones, the military has drones, but they're all shaped like our conventional aircraft.
Right. And they don't hover, they fly.
That's right.
Now you were saying that this thing would disappear. Now, do you think maybe that's when the moon wasn't reflecting upon it and it was like in full cloak?
Well,
Or did it take off?
I would think that, but when we would see it, it would take off. It would poof, and then it would reappear. So, but that's what I'm saying. It's so bizarre, because when it would take off, you would almost see it. That's what I'm saying. It could be just taking off so far that we don't even see it anymore, and then when it comes back, we see the reflection again.
Yeah.
Now
Because when it would take off, you would see it, and then you wouldn't see it.
right. And
So
so
it's moving.
you're saying it takes off. So, I mean, and a typical conventional aircraft probably wouldn't go that fast and take off that fast, zoom out of.
It was super fast.
Yeah. I don't think we have that kind of technology, because anything that moved that fast would kill a human.
That's right. The G-forces.
The G-force. And that's exactly why we're like, there's no way, because the way that you would disappear and reappear, there's no way.
Right. Now, do you think that it could have possibly shown itself on the way while you guys were driving? Because I've heard stories of people that don't believe, but there's a certain vibration that people give off, and then pow, they show up just to say, "Look, we are real."
Right.
I mean,
And see, I've always been, a non-believer, and that night it was weird, because I was in the back seat, and I happened to go to sleep that first little drive, and then I woke up, and I was like, and then we're going, and then that's when I kind of stretched, and I'm like, what is that? And I started looking, I'm like, what is that? And then that's when I'm like, nah, there's no way. They're like, yep, that's exactly what it is. And that's when we started following it.
so who told you it was a UFO?
Nobody. I told myself.
It was just you looking at it and saying that's just something out of the ordinary. That
No, there's no explaining the shape, the way it moved, the way that it was staying in one place. There's no way. There's no way.
Right.
I like I said, I've haven't been a believer, never been a believer, but I can say to this day, because I've seen that, I'm a believer. There's something else out there.
Now, was everybody else in the car there on board? They also thought it was a UFO.
And see, my wife, she was the kind of everybody except Chris. He was a believer.
Right.
Everybody until that day. Now everybody's like, there's no way. Like there's no explaining it.
Right.
So now, if I ask your wife, and I ask her, "Do you believe in UFOs?" What's she going to tell me? Oh yeah,
She's gonna say yes.
Yes.
She's gonna bring up this story and tell you exactly how I told her.
Right. Now,
Now I got a question for you, Jimmy. You were a non-believer pretty much across the board. Now this little experience, you know there's something out there. Now does that make you more open-minded to like something else, say like Bigfoot?
Yeah.
Because if this could exist,
Well,
you're
if
like,
this could, yeah. What else is out there?
exactly,
Right.
yeah. And
What else is possible? And if there's been encounters the same way, just like that, there's been encounters with Sasquatch that people have said, but nobody really believes it because nobody's really experienced it.
try.
right.
Now, let me ask you this. Since you've had this sighting and now you know that you've seen something that you can't explain, and today's world, they don't call them UFOs, they call them unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAPs now. And so that's the word they're using. And here's the thing. Now that you've saw this, do you think that the theories out there that there's different entities from different planets, from different solar systems that are here visiting the Earth? So the theory is we have the grays, which are predominantly the ones almost everyone sees. We have the Palladians, which are the blonde hair, blue-eyed aliens, and there's the reptilians, which supposedly live underground. Now, if you saw that type of craft, you're going to have to ask yourself, do these entities exist on this earth?
Yes. Which, seeing that craft and, from growing up and brother being enthusiast, you being enthusiast, seeing a lot of evidence, basically,
Yeah.
it turns to where it's like, yeah, it's just like us. We're different colors, brown, white, black. It's the same way. If there's a different species, a different race, there has to be different, I guess, entities.
Right. And it would be me and your dad have talked about this before. We both follow the Bible, but what we want is the truth. Now, it would be kind of silly to think that we're the only living organisms intelligent in this whole galaxy.
Right.
Yes.
Now, supposedly scientists have discovered what they call exoplanets, which are Earth-like planets. And to this day, they've supposedly discovered like 13 in other solar systems. But here's the beauty of it. So we're talking today, right now, right here. In this last coronavirus stimulus package, buried deep in this package is basically a law that's telling the FBI and all these Secret Service people, and it's giving them 6 months from the day that the money went out for the stimulus, that they now have to not expose, but they have to disclose what they know about UFOs, and it's in this bill. Not many people know about it, but it was deep in this bill. So they have till June, and they gotta divulge everything they know about UFOs. And the reason is because the Senate and Congress saw that the Navy videos that got leaked from the Pentagon,
Yeah.
and they're like, those are real videos, and they're like, these are real, and they're like, what do you mean? And they couldn't explain it. They heard the pilots couldn't explain it, so they want to know So they got 6 months to tell us what
Bring
they
it up.
know.
Which going on that, I'm sure they know. They've had to have more encounters because it's the same thing. They take ships out there upon our galaxy, and they're finding planets that are self-sustaining, livable planets.
Right.
Right.
Which, if they are, and they're going up there, do they see any? Are they telling what they're seeing, or only what they want to tell?
Well, it's here's my thing. I've always believed that there is extraterrestrial life out there. Now, when people say extraterrestrial, I mean that word just means that they're not of this earth.
Right.
So,
Yes.
if you go back to Zachariah Stitchens, and I don't know if you know who that is, he talks about the Anunnaki, who were supposedly the ones that came down here and seeded us from apes to make us a slave race. But if you take it back to all the stone tablets that were discovered, and this is prior to the Bible, and if you look at all the drawings and everything, Zachariah Stitchin said, let's look at how they talked about the planets. They had all the planets. We said, no, there's only 9. They showed 10 planets. And that 10th planet they call Planet X, Nibiru. And supposedly that's where the Anunnaki came from. And it makes a full circle every 3,600 years, if I'm correct. And it's, and scientists have now said, oh, there is something coming into our orbit. So, when you think about this, when I first read Zachariah Stitchin's theory, I was like, that's so crazy. But, come to find out, it's true. And I forgot what the cuneiform, what civilization wrote in cuneiform, but that's even before Egyptian time. And, they knew things that we didn't even know. I mean, they had a 10th planet on their clay tablets, and we thought we were so educated and smart, and yet here, how did they know that?
Right. Just like the Egyptian pyramids. To this day, we're not sure how they were built. It's not far-fetched to think they'd had some kind of help.
That's right. So,
and also, there's the theories that since some UFOs have been crashing, Roswell, for instance, that our technology has leaped since then because of reverse engineering their technology.
And it has, and I just watched a documentary on, I watch Gaia a lot with George Norrie, who does Coast to Coast, and he had some guests on that they talked about that. And so many of these people that were there for the crash, they're on their deathbed, and they're like, no, we're telling you now, I got nothing to lose. We did recover alien craft, alien bodies. And I believe it. So, here, this state, New Mexico, because we developed the atomic bomb here, we have tons of UFO activity that
Right,
people
'cause
don't even know about.
They're that registered on their radar, and they're coming to see what the hell we're doing.
That's right. They said the kids found the book of matches finally.
Now, Jimmy, I got a movie for you to watch. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's called Fire in the Sky. You there, Jimmy?
Yeah, say that one more time.
Yeah. Have you seen the movie Fire in the Sky?
I don't think so.
You need to watch at it. It's supposedly based on true events. It happened here in Arizona, and it's about an alien abduction, and it's pretty interesting. It's a good watch. I recommend it.
Let me say, do you remember when we were going to Tucson, and we were going because Uncle Brian died?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember where we got pulled over, where they said I was driving crazy?
Yeah.
That forest area.
The lady.
Yep, that forest area, right in that area, those mountains right there is where this story takes place.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to watch that.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's pretty cool.
Because
Though.
now I'm a believer.
It's based on a true story, and this man, he got abducted. His friend saw him get abducted. He was hit by a beam from the UFO, and it knocked him 20 feet, and his friends thought he was dead, and they got scared, and they took off. Well, when they went back with the police, he was gone. And he showed up 5 days later at a phone booth, naked, calling, saying, "I need help. Where am I at?"
Yeah, I usually do that, but that's when I'm drinking. But
Right,
that's
right.
another story.
Now I do that. I do that every Friday.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, now Jimmy. So now that you got a more open mind about, other things, next time you come to town, you're gonna have to go with this up to the mountains.
That's right.
That's what I say. I'm trying to do a Sasquatch
Yeah.
adventure.
That's
Now
right.
that I know there's definitely something else out there, I want to
Yeah.
know what else is out there.
There's a lot of things out there that people just don't believe in or refuse to. But let's look at how the world is. We no longer have to go out in the forest to collect our food or hunt for game. We go to
Yeah,
the
people
grocery
that-
store.
hmm
We have a sedentary life, which means we sit here. We no longer go through the forest anymore. But there's a lot of things out there. And if you've listened to some of the episodes, me and my brother will tell you what we've heard out there. And there's no one around. So how do you
Right.
explain those things?
Right. Now, I've had a up close encounter. I've seen the eyes. I've seen the outline. I've heard them. They yelled at me. They're shaking trees, and it's crazy. Now, when we went out there, we always hear something. We haven't had another close encounter. Not that close, but they're close enough to scare the crap out of us sometimes.
That's right. They're out there. They're out there.
Definitely have to take a trip for that,
Definitely. Now,
and then we'll do another session.
that's right. Then you could tell the people what you've heard, just like we have.
Right. Or we could
Yes.
do one on location.
And we've done them on location. But anyway, that's interesting that you were not a believer in UFOs and you had that one sighting, and now it just opened your mind frame to think there is something out there. Now, a lot of religious people refuse to see that, and they want to write it off as demonic. I mean, it may be. I don't know, because I don't know what these creatures are. I don't know where they come from or what their intentions are here. I just know that they're more advanced than us. They're smarter than us, and if they wanted to, they could take over without
Yeah.
any hesitation.
Yeah, I'm sure they could.
Yes, and a lot of our technology is supposedly based off their stuff.
It is.
Right.
And I'm a believer in that.
Right.
I mean, if you look at the first alien crash in the 40s, where we've come since then, and people will tell you,
Because of that.
we've reverse engineered a lot of the technology. That's where our
Microprocessors.
fiber optic
All that.
technology, they say they took that from the spaceships.
I'm just waiting for that encounter where I run into that girl from Total Recall with the 3 boobs.
I think I think we
That's
all
the
are.
best one.
Yes, sir.
Well, I
Once
don't.
I get that, I'll try and video that in there.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know how I would act. I'd be like, wait, I want left hand, right hand. Well, oh, I know what I got to do.
I would say I am a definite believer now.
That's right.
Take me with you.
Right.
Yes.
Anyway, we want to thank you for sharing your story with us.
Of course,
And-
thank you for having me.
Hey, no problem. And we're just glad that you were willing to, because so many people don't want to share their story.
Right.
They think they're going to
course.
be ridiculed. And, we share our Sasquatch stories, and people probably think we're full of shit or dumb, but
Yeah.
we invite them to come out.
Exactly. I've been ridiculed, but I don't care because I know what happened to me that night.
That's right.
Exactly. And that's the only thing is most of the people that ridicule have never been through any experience.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right.
They're just non-believers.
That's
Yeah.
But
right.
there will be that one time in their life that they will be like, holy shit, those guys were right.
That one time that they're going to have a sighting just like you did.
And they're going to
Yes.
shit their pants and think
They're
of what
gonna
you told
shit
them.
their pants. Yep,
That's right.
just what I did.
That's right. Anyway, thanks for sharing your story, Jimmy.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Email.
And for all of you out there listening, we want you to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to get in touch with us and you have a story just like Jimmy did, you can email us at latenightwithlarry55@gmail.com. I'll respond to your email. You can come online. We'll give you the number and let's hear your story. Just maybe you're becoming a believer just like Jimmy did.
Yep. That'll be awesome.
All right. Anyway, that's what we want to talk to you about tonight. And thanks for being on the show, Jimmy.
Thank you.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.